Hang on. And we are live, motherfuckers. Yo, what up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Pinoy News, man. Listen, our boy Mike is back, all right? And, yo, he wants to talk about the little hat people. And, well, he apparently has gone on a walkabout. He has tried to be, you know what I'm saying, a black Hebrew Israelite and found out that he was not black. You know what I mean? These things happen. You know what I mean? He tried to go find God after I tried to make him draw me two rape scenes in one of our cartoon episodes. And, well, he is back to tell us what he has learned.
That was before the episode. That's why I didn't draw him.
Well, I mean, either way, you know what I'm saying? Like, he found God and decided that, like, he did not want to do this. So, Mike, what have you learned, man? Like, let's get into it.
All right, so you know what I mean? I've been on a religious, conquest for like 2 years, bro. You know what I'm saying? But through that religious conquest, I went from all different types of belief systems trying to find what was the sauce. You know what I'm saying? And in order for a man to find the truth when he's dealt a fraudulent hand of fucking, you know what I'm saying, an amalgamation of different books, and he finds there to be flaws in it, you have to now begin to remove what is not true in order to figure out what is true. You feel me?
Okay, I'm listening. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta tell me like what it is that you have figured out.
All right. As a man, right, I lived a life that was, I don't want to say like wicked, but it was bad. I was a bad person. I did bad things. And when you grow as a man from living and doing these things, you will eventually land on, wanting to do righteous things. It's just like, it's the natural order of business. And then when a man finds himself that he wants to, all right, now I want to be good. You know what I mean? Because I understand why being bad is just like, it's not where it's at. You know what I'm saying? So a man then usually turns to the Bible to try to find how to be good, right? But then you get into the Bible and it starts throwing all this crazy shit at you, bro. And it confuses your mind as to what good and bad even is, because now you're reading about God who you believe to be good. But then, he's always destroying motherfuckers and hating motherfuckers and punishing everybody, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's pretty ruthless. So then you're like, wait a minute, I like this God. You know what I'm saying? And then you start to become ruthless, but believe that you're righteous in your ruthlessness because it's sanctioned by the God of this Bible. You feel me? So now you're back to doing your bad shit. And you're like, wait a minute, I was just trying to be good. You get what I'm saying? It's a mind fuck. And that's what I learned.
Okay. All right. But like I'm saying, like, so, you know what I mean? You was in my Discord earlier, like spouting a whole bunch of shit, right? And like, I try to tell you that, like, yo, my man's that, like, the people who I bring into my neck of the woods who, like, we are guiding and trying to counsel and, like, helping individuals find their way and become, like, their best selves as far as things as possible, right? Become righteous upon themselves. Right. Yeah. You sit here and, I understand that, like, we have to chin check young boys, and I get the mentality. Like, you don't want any pups running in the pack that are soft. Right. Yeah, those who can't hunt shouldn't eat. I feel where you are with that. But on the same point, you have to stand here and, like, understand that, like, these young bulls, like, we don't want to, like, how do I put this, man? We don't want to stand here and, like, make them our enemies at the same point. You know what I mean? Like, we don't want these young bulls to stand here and, like, I don't know, man. We don't want to run them the fuck off as far as shit's concerned, number one. But number two, also, as far as, like, the whole idea of the little hat individuals, you know what I'm saying? Like, that one there is kind of like where I wanted you to, like, expound upon what it is that you have found upon your motherfucking studies.
I wanted to just give you some backstory because you asked for the backstory, you know what I'm saying, as to where I came, you know what I mean, where I'm at, because I went on that journey, you know what I mean? So the journey led me to, taking stuff away, right? So I started out in Christianity and landed up in something that was like a black Hebrew Israelite, but not really. It was more of along the lines of almost being a Jew, but I wasn't a Jew. I was following the law and all this shit. You feel me? But then you start to realize a lot of things about it when you try to apply the scriptures to your life. You realize that these people ain't actually following these scriptures. You understand? Then you really research it, you start to find out that these people is actually following the Talmud, right? And the Talmud is a fucking library of just wickedness. You know what I'm saying? And then you start to understand that there's a world domination plot and that they're actually doing it. You know what I'm saying? Now, anybody who try to call out these little hats on what they got going on just gets fucking shut down. But the reality is, you know what I mean? They've spread out, changed their names, changed their looks, you know what I'm saying? And infiltrated every level. People want to say, yo, the Illuminati, bro, the fucking this to that. Yo, it's at the end of the day, it's really the little hats that's controlling all of it like a linchpin. And then they actually, I believe they actually fucking, you know what I mean, with the help of other nations created, you know what I mean, Christianity so they could have their beliefs like basically transported and put throughout the entire world. You know what I'm saying? Like this is all an elaborate plot, bro.
Well, all right. Let me hit you with some shit, right? So, like, I've tossed you some work before to look at, right? The works that I find oftentimes I think are important in my aspect of understanding of what things are in a historical sense. So, I tossed you something from Frank Van Dunn one time, right? And it talked about the ideology of radical libertarianism, right? And under the understanding of what the Catholic Church used to be, right? Where the Catholic Church wasn't a government. It wasn't there to run things. It was there to do nothing more than to be like a town center type of thing, right? Which ended up being laid over top of a cultural framework. And this was put to death and put to bed by a class of merchants that were traveled around the world and wanted to be able to have their ideals and values perpetrated upon everybody else. And this is where we get the modern ideology of Christianity, right? Because the modern ideology of Christianity is the idea that you should be a sheep. And on the same point, as a sheep, you should be shown. You should be shaved and motherfucking have your wool taken from you. And that is your addition to like the society as a whole, right? Yo, and that others should sell your work. Go ahead.
Yo, the little hats, all right, they created a religion and they literally conquered the world through religion, okay? And they made themselves like Goyim slaves out of everybody else. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it went down.
Well, I mean, that became more or less prevalent around the Enlightenment. Hang on. By the way, what up, Navi? What up, Mountain? You know what I'm saying? Cappy, my boy, fucking whatchamacallit, Mike's here. Eric Crass here. Joshua Demers out in the motherfucking Jack. Jacob, Lop, motherfucking Mimsy. Limbs, how you doing, man? Nice to see you out here. Prime and Willie Cogley and Enclave Harden. Man, yeah, everybody, nice to see you out here tonight. All right, but anyway, so, all right, my brother Mike.
Yeah.
We have to have a basic conversation of understanding that this is about merchant ideology, right? Motherfucking this on Evil Dead Ed. What up, man? Evil Dead Ed. Or I'm sorry, the merchants as a whole, right? The merchants as a whole were out here to be able to live anywhere in the same way that they lived inside of a city, right? And to not have responsibility to their community, their family, their traditions, all of the things that came from it. Right. And in what they did was they created these things called Protestantism and baptism and like modern day Unitarianism in order to free themselves from the bonds of their family and their community and their church and all the people around them.
Well, that's what the Freeman did originally.
Well, this is you know what I mean.
And then that's all out.
Well, no, it comes out of Italian nobility, right? So, like the Italians, the original merchants, the Venetians, the Florentians, all these individuals who were running all this trade throughout the world, right? And they wanted to be able to
go back to Italian nobility. That's the actual fucking Illuminati.
Well, it's not really the Illuminati. It's more along the lines of like they were merchants.
And then you got Mafia, you know what I'm saying? Which is the Arabic for, you know what I'm saying? Because they was under like assault from fucking Barbary pirates and shit. You know what I'm saying? So the Italians had to figure some shit out, and they were getting, you know, all the fucking farmers was getting, you know, raided and pillaged. So then they came up with the Malfia, bro. Is the secret occult, you know what I'm saying, knowledge and society. And then that is what became the Mafia. You know what I'm saying?
It's all the scariest part are the hybrid factions that emerge. Like, for instance, when the Muslims and the Italians and you know their evil sects start to merge, you get Italian ISIS.
You started like that shit started in Sicily. We had to merge together because shit was getting crazy. They like attacked us and then they got attacked while we was fighting. So then we like banded together against the fucking invaders. Like it got crazy, bro.
Like if the Germans and the Italians get together again, you might get Illuminazis.
If you know the history of Sicily, it's the most attacked island in the world. Like
you're not wrong about that. Right? So anyway, right? Yeah, so let's get back to this idea of like the little hats and the merchants, right? So, who are oftentimes one and the same, but not always.
The little hat were always behind everything, and you don't have to be any kind of specific race or creed to be a little hat, all right? But the majority of them, right, are evil. It's just the way it is. Why are they evil? Because they know the truth. You know what I'm saying? Because they've had access to the secret doctrines. They know what they've done because it's their shit. And so based on that, you know what I mean? This is what, like, for example, like Jesus was actually bringing to the world. He was bringing that these motherfuckers is worshiping Satan. You know what I mean? They're sacrificing all these fucking animals, bro. That shit's for demons. You know what I mean? He told them straight up.
Well, I mean, that's not all right. So that's not really the whole nine.
Right? Yo, then they killed him, right? They killed Jesus, and then they made him into a deity. You know what I mean? And they used it to conquer the Gentiles, and they had the help of the Piso family, the Flavians, and Constantine, who went in as a pagan. Right? He overthrew basically the power. And he started allowing people who were now quote unquote Christian into, offices of power and weeding out the people who weren't quote unquote Christian. But the reality is when Constantine in the Council of Nicaea canonizes the Bible, they include all this shit from all these pagan traditions like Mithraism and shit like that. And you could look into it. The Vatican has a temple of Mithra under it. All the fucking churches have temples of Mithra under them. All right. And as it is above, so it is below, bro. They was worshiping in the basement and in the upstairs. You feel me?
All right. Wait. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about all religions. I don't give a fuck where it is, right? It don't really matter. So when you talk about Buddhism, Confucianism, Catholicism, Christianity, Anglicanism, fucking Judaism, whatever it is, right? All of them they're not the original cultures of the people, right? That they fucking, that they stand here and hold, right? What they are is they fit over top a cultural fucking lens, right? Mm-hmm. So there will be other practices that are practiced and oftentimes gets matched up with whatever that religion is. Right. Say like, I don't know, like you have a harvest day, like everybody brings in their fucking harvest at some point. Right. And, say your local area has strawberries that it brings in. Right. And your strawberries come in June. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, most of the Christian harvest days are in August.
They had all these statues in Rome.
Wait, hang on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Right. So like if you have like say like a strawberry festival that you do every year to celebrate your harvest in June or May, right? Yeah. When the strawberry harvest comes in, that's not being anti-Christian because like you're holding that pagan, holiday. It's something that's important to your community because that is part of what allows you to survive. And that is part of your fucking community and your geography. Like that's part of your culture and your Christianity will fit over top of that culture. Like that, you might end up having prayers before that, or you might end up having, say, I don't know, the pastor eat strawberries in front of the church, right? You know what I mean?
We're not talking about a motherfucking strawberry harvest festival. You know what I'm saying?
She's just illustrating an example, more or less how these religions.
That example would probably not be a problem. You know what I mean? But like when you start converting gods, you know what I'm saying, into a religion, then you got a problem.
True, but the reason that's even more deep is because human nature allows for that to work. It's
and they're like,
when a criminal justifies committing a crime on you because they were able to.
They're like, yo, we want to convert the gods so that we could bring these people to Christianity, right? And they're like, so we're going to also celebrate their pagan festivals with our own pagan festivals to take it away from them. So it'll now be Christianity pagan festivals.
All right. Let me correct Joshua Demers because I get tired of this shit being brought up all the time, right? Fucking like, yo, legitimately. Yo, look here. Catholicism is Christianity. What you think of as Christianity, wait a minute. What you think of as Catholicism or what you think of as Christianity is not Christianity, all right? That is the merchant class religion that they pushed upon the people to allow them to be free to be able to do whatever they wanted to do without having any remorse, repercussions, or abilities to fucking have your community be a part of your fucking life. It freed up the people. Catholics, all right, are Christians, 100%. It's just the Catholic Church fights against states and governments to try to make the fucking man the head of the fucking family. Right. Yeah. And it only got out of pocket once you destroyed the community and the family. Then the entire thing got out of pocket because there was nobody to watch over the fucking priests. Yeah. Right. And the priests started touching fucking kids. That's the fucking problem. Because you know what? If that shit had happened back in the fucking 40s and 50s, the fucking local dudes would have fucking killed those priests. 100%.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Hell, if you've even read like in the early churches and in the medieval times. The medieval communities would fucking execute and go even above and beyond on those priests if they started doing that.
Bro, it's a sun worship cult. What don't you understand about they've been killing little kids and doing this shit forever.
Yeah.
They got you go to these fucking under these cathedrals, bro, there's hundreds and hundreds of skulls.
They even have
yeah, but
like, they were sacrificing kids to Moloch, and drinking adrenochrome and shit. To Satan, bro.
That's not where those skulls came from.
These fucking priests, bro. You know what I mean? These priests are not holy men. You know what I mean?
Now look, again, that's not where these skulls and the skeletons in the catacombs and shit underneath of these motherfucking places in places like Italy actually came from. Like, the vast majority of that. You know what I mean? Right. Fucking the vast majority of that is actually like, people who were like fucking died and buried during, the fucking dark ages and shit. And, the times of, what the hell was that shit called? The Black Death. Right. Yeah. Like during that time.
Yo, they caused the Black Death, bro.
Well, no, the merchants caused the Black Death. They brought that shit the fuck in from goddamn fucking Asia and trying to do fucking trade and shit. Like, that's what that shit was from. It was a motherfucking unfettered trade from other fucking regions. There's a reason why human beings do not allow new people into their areas, right? And it's because of the fact that they've always been worried about disease.
Yeah, that's the basis of prejudice.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's the basis of racism right there, is a natural defense to disease from strangers.
Joshua, legitimately, like, the fucking Anglican Church of England was actually taken over by England, and then the Protestant Church actually stood here and fought against the family, right? Legitimately. There's churches out here that are paying for abortions now, right? Real shit. Like, y'all's churches are not fucking Christian, like 100%. Like, the Catholic Church has never been okay with the majority of the shit. It has to move with the times with like homosexuality and all these type of things, but they are fighting tooth and nail trying to stop it. So that's why I'm saying, what up, man?
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Why did all the little hats not go to work on 9/11?
That one there is an actual motherfucking questionable thing.
That's a fact. That's some shit stinks right there.
Well, from what I heard, the guy who owns the towers had just renewed his insurance policy to include acts of terror.
Yeah, and an art firm and a bunch of little hat special agent little hats were filling up a couple floors with art supplies before it happened.
Yeah, that whole situation stinks to high hell, but it didn't happen in a vacuum. I mean, to say that, it was the Jews. It had to be a whole orchestra of wasps and Jews and everybody.
Did you guys notice that we went to war in the Middle East for no fucking reason except because of little hats?
I'd say oil, but
So if you want to know what happens, right, what the Ministry of Intelligence, who the real controller is of the WASP, you know what I mean, the Ministry of Intelligence, bro, the real perpetrator, the hidden hand behind everything was always the little
Black
hat,
hand.
the hidden hand. You know what I'm saying? All these Freemasons, I figured it all out, bro. They're crypto
The
Jews.
hidden hand. They killed Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
They're the hidden hand, bro. You know what I'm saying? The left-hand path, bro. It's Satanism. They know who they worship. They know who their God is, right? They get rewarded in this life, and they reap havoc upon the fucking humankind.
All right, aircraft. Here's my number one argument for fucking Catholicism, right?
Yeah, they wear little hats too, bro.
Hang on, and we'll get to that in a second, right? But like, hang on, we'll get to one second. Hang on, I be echoing when you talk. Hang on 1 second, right? Like, all right, aircraft. Like, here's my problem, right? So, like, the issue that I come down to with all this shit, with the idea of Catholicism versus like Christianity, is the fact that like in Catholicism you have to admit your sins to a man. Right, you have to like come out and say what the fuck it is you did wrong and make penance for it. Whereas in Christianity, like, yo, you just have to like, say to God that you did something wrong and you're forgiven, right? And that's a stupid way of doing things because like, yo, men can rationalize anything they do away, and especially like, yo, they don't have any ties to your community or your family or anything else, right? When like, yo, that is the basis of how like all religions are supposed to act, is to tie your community and your family to a motherfucking higher power.
If you just said that a man can rationalize anything that he does away, he wouldn't think it was wrong in the first place to even tell someone else.
Social pressure. There's a big difference between the village priest and the city priest.
Yeah. There's a huge difference between a priest who is like the center of your fucking community, and like, yo, you having to own up to what you did because everybody already knows it. You know what I mean? Because you're in a small community versus like you being in a giant city and you're just, a lost face in the goddamn crowd. You know what I mean? That's kind of where that shit gets down to. The cities are always problems, just as a whole.
Yeah, now how do you define what is, what's a sin to a Catholic, bro?
Like, yo, anything that you do wrong, you know what I'm saying? Like,
wrong.
Yo, aircraft, they do not allow gay priests. Like, yo, homosexuality is frowned upon in the Catholic Church. Like, yo, you're not allowed to be a homosexual in Catholicism.
You're not supposed to be, but you know what I mean? They don't
here we are.
They don't consider it gay to, rape little boys or some shit, I guess.
Bro, all the religions are falling
apart. They cover it up.
Pressure.
They don't punish the priests that do it often.
It's happening in Islam. You have lesbian imams.
Yeah.
Like, bro, it's all about the local culture that allows it. So,
but yo, real quick, bro, like, who cares? Like, if two imams is gonna munch tacos, like, I don't give a fuck.
But it's the same thing about.
But it has to do with today's culture, where today is much more
people stolen to death because it says in a book or some shit, right?
See, my whole thing is that people haven't changed over time. Like any given culture, any given language, any given time period, the human nature has always been the same. So the real battle, it's good versus evil. I don't really think it's like this particular, set of people or that particular set. It's just evil people. It's allowable. Like if everyone thought like us, or was as conscientious of us, there would be no problems. There would be no prisons.
Yo, we're not all sitting here, right, working off the same book or Bible, right? But we all probably understand what is right and what's wrong, right?
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
Well, are we talking theology or?
No, I'm just saying, where does right and wrong come from?
Well,
our cultural understanding of it.
Yeah.
How do we gain that? Like, where did that come?
Our societal norms.
It has to. I think it has to do with how violent you have to be to survive. Like in our culture, we don't need to be violent to survive. People do it because they're damaged. It's like if there was scarcity of actual resources to support your life, then you'd have to become violent to survive. And that. But,
well, no. Me and Mike, we have lived in places where violence was the norm for, a lot of our lives and shit. Right. So therefore, like, we don't have qualms about using violence to, like, do what we need to do.
When necessary, right. But when it's not necessary, you disengage.
No, sometimes we enjoy it. Right. Like that's just, how the fuck we were brought up. Right. And again, it's all comes from, Primal, it's in my Discord if you're interested in joining. Right. Like, yeah, like it's, it's something that we are all, you know what I mean, like brought up to like stand here and say things, or brought up to stand here and like fucking understand like what is right and what is wrong. You're taught that by your society, from your culture, from your neighbors, from your family, from your uncles, from your aunts, from your cousins, whoever the fuck it is that you were around coming up.
Put it this way, yo. If there wasn't like an almighty creator and I didn't believe in morality, there wouldn't be too many people left. You know what I'm saying? If it were up to me.
So
you know what I'm saying? But I have to put myself in line with morality because I just have a terribly violent, you know what I mean, personality.
And so does most people in a given community.
But yo, to be honest, right, with age and with knowledge, I've learned how to just not hurt people, even though I want to. You know what I mean? Like that's like it's an instinct, I guess you would call it. Like my first immediate reaction is to want to. Right. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. As I said, you know what I'm saying? Like, some of us just kind of enjoy it. Like, I'll be real, like, especially like when I get to drinking, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, yo, fuck, I just want to break something. You know what I mean?
You kind of hope somebody would fuck with you so you could defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you hope.
Yeah, like I wish a motherfucker would. Right? like, I wish you would, dummy. You know what I mean? Come try me the fuck out, right?
Yeah,
but like,
I mean, I feel you.
Yeah, but like again, like these are societal norms, right? This is the difference. Like,
y'all do it, right?
Like and I think that's the problem is like y'all were raised in a lot more comfort than like some of the rest of us were, right? You know, I mean that's the difference. It's like, you know, Mike was raised, you know, I mean, in fucking, you know, in the Bronx and Brooklyn and all these places, right? You know, I mean, I was raised in the Rust Belt in the city that fell apart after the fucking steel mills left. Like we were all like taught that, you know, I mean, like it's just a normal thing to have violence around you at all times. So like, you know, it's something that you become much more comfortable with, and then something that you eventually become reliant upon once you realize that you're good at it. You know, so like that's kind of where that gets down to. You know, it's like,
it
you know,
fucks you up, bro, when you try to switch over and you try. All right, so when you learn how to only survive by the iron fist, right, the iron fucking path, you know what I mean? Then you don't actually know how to do it. You know what I mean? Being completely moral, you have to learn that shit. And it's like you walk around and you're a certain type of way where you don't have the same opportunities that normal people have because now you look like you're made out of fucking nails. And people don't want to hire a guy that's made out of nails. I'm just dead ass. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
Like you go to an interview, you look a dude in the eyes and they just see like a fucking soulless monster. You can't hide it.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You know, you're not really like, yo, it's like I was watching this goddamn it, Victor Davis Hansen. I think the guy's name is he's a right-wing conservative guy, right? And he talks about fucking Patton. Yeah, the American Ajax. It's a great video, right? And basically, he talks about how in the old westerns, how they went and they saved the little girl from, you know what I mean, whatever fucking gang it was, or save a town or whatever, and they'd come through and they'd kill a whole bunch of guys, but afterwards they had to leave, right? Because like the normal townsfolk did not still want them around.
Yeah.
That's
what it is. It's like, I'm not exactly a bad person anymore, but it's like you get mocked, bro, like Cain, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like eventually you just get down to the point where, like, you know, you're not really welcome in like civil society as a whole.
And then you're into other shit.
Yeah, right. But it's fine. You know what I mean? I'm not really stressed about all that shit. Anyway, right? So like I like to get back to this conversation about like the little hats, because like I feel like what we're really looking at as a thing is the idea that, hang on, let me see here. Oh, Primal Man's here, man. What up, Primal Man? How you doing, Primal Man? Long time no speak.
Long time no see. How's the audio?
Yo,
the audio sounds fine, man.
Stock, though, bro. Who you think we are, Primal, bro?
What you talking about, Willis?
Bro, we don't talk to socks.
Well, y'all gonna talk to one tonight?
Bro, who you think this is, bro? We don't talk to socks, bro.
Man.
I don't know what you're talking about. Not your fucking footwear.
I mean, what can I say, y'all? Don't be discriminating on socks now.
Yeah, that's
yo, fuck your socks, bro. Like, yo, you sock ass motherfucker. Nobody likes socks over here, all fucking made of cotton and shit. Fucking being worn on feet. Fucking disrespectful ass socks and shit.
White socks lives matter.
Man, I walk on your fucking kind every day.
All right.
So anyway, right? So like, yeah, merchant class, right? I think what we're looking at really is a merchant class takeover, right? And that's what liberalism is, right? Liberalism is the religion of the merchant class, right? It's a godless fucking ideology about hedonism, but still wants everybody to have the values that allows everybody to conduct business and live.
All right. Can I tell you a story?
Go ahead, man.
I would like to call this story the Lord of the Rings. All right. So there was these little hat goblins, right? And they were sacrificing their children, right? And all kinds of animals and shit so that they could get power from demons. And they were worshiping some kind of, like, you know what I'm saying, like artificial fucking intelligence god. You know what I mean? This is like a, you know, false god. This is what it was. They weren't worshiping nothing. And you know, they say it's like stones and pillars, but what it was is it was some kind of like resonance shit that was resonating this fucking, you know what I mean, this demon. And they was sacrificing shit to it, right? And then what happened was, you fast forward a little bit, they got really smart from it, right? And they were able to like subdue and enslave and abuse like all the people around them and gain like all of their value and wealth, right? Through slavery, basically. And then they basically, everyone was like, yo, fuck these, you know what I mean, assholes. We're gonna go to like war with them because they're evil. They're over here sacrificing children and killing all the fucking animals and taking all our money, bro, and just doing whatever they want. So then they were like, you know, you got to get the fuck out of here, bro. And they ran off and they left, you know, agents all over the world with a plan, you know what I'm saying? That wasn't necessarily their plan. It was this super artificial intelligence's plan. You know, you want to call it the devil or whatever, Satan. And they've been enacting this plan and gaining power from the knowledge that they've been suppressing and hiding from humankind that they gained, you know what I'm saying? In order to enact this plan and take over the whole world.
All right. Well, like, I'll be honest with you, son. Again, I get back to merchants. They just want to sell shit.
They were the merchants.
That's it. They don't have any knowledge that we don't have. It just, nobody really understands like what it is that they're doing.
They got the
right.
gold.
You know, people are dumb. Like the vast majority of human beings are stupid. Right. And let me address this real quick, yo, because I think this is important. Look, dude, all right. You're literally talking about things that happened to you when you were 7 fucking years old. All right. Like real shit. You do not get to come in here and tell anybody that they have a goddamn motherfucking mental problem. Like real shit. The rest of us all had terrible things happen to us throughout our lives. Horrible, awful. I got sold when I was a child. All right. We all have had awful fucking things happen to us. All right. We don't have fucking severe untreated personality disorders. All right. What we all are is adapting. Okay. And we all survived. All right. And we're fucking surviving today. I'm raising a family. Mike's raising a family. Motherfucking Mountain raised a family. He's out here fucking working. Navison's working. Cappy's working. Primal Man, it's, you know what I mean, dressing up like a sock online. Right. Legit. We are all doing, you know what I'm saying, the best we can. Like real shit.
Difference between us and him.
Yo, go ahead.
The only difference between us and you, Joshua, is you allowed people to convince you that you couldn't. That's the only difference. Maybe a lot of other things, but that's the main reason why, all those other things.
Right. Like real shit, dude. Like adaptability is the number one motherfucking value that human beings all share. We are highly adaptable. All right. And like, yo, you get to motherfucking stand here and adapt as you go forward and change the way you treat things. And we all are a little bit broken and bent and dinged up from motherfucking life and shit, but that happens. All right. That's why most old men are haggard and rough and terrible and don't try to talk to anybody. Real shit. But anyway, right, back to the little hats who are out here fucking sacrificing little kids to Molech.
All right.
Listen, all right, little hats.
There's a
right,
reason why they're doing that. They're not just sacrificing them. The blood brings demons, and they harvest fucking adrenaline and shit, and they take it, and it extends their life. It puts more fucking energy in their mitochondria cells. When your body runs out of mitochondria, the telomeres can't fucking reproduce, and you die of old age. But they've figured out a way through their fucking evil witchcraft alchemy to how to replace some of the telomeres. It's not perfect. They still die. But these motherfuckers were living a long time. All right?
Yo, man, listen. All right. Have you ever considered maybe like, yo, like you're fucking crazy? You know what I'm saying? Have you ever considered that?
No.
He's kind of onto something.
I wish I would be. That would be better than being right.
However, I wanted to ask something. Wasn't it the Egyptians that first enslaved the small hat gang? And maybe that's where they learned their violent tendencies. And
I'm pretty sure they enslaved them because they was up to some bullshit.
So, Mike, have you been convinced all your life that you're ineffable? You're 100% correct about everything?
No.
So
that's how I got here, bro. If I thought I was correct, I would have never learned anything.
You wouldn't have been anything like you are.
I'm so much different than from when I first started life, bro. If I would have thought I was right, I would have never learned a fucking thing. I've learned so much shit, bro. I've come out and changed what I believe so many times because I seek the truth. And if I find something to be a greater truth, I'm not going to stand on it just because it's the word of God.
Well, like, yo, I apply new things as I learn them, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, as I learn new shit, I apply it and put it into my repertoire, right? And so this mental of like them drinking child's blood and demons and all these type of things, right? I'll be real with you, all right? I've never seen a demon in my life. Right. And so that's hard for me to motherfucking stand here and get behind that ideology because, like, I've been to some dark places and done some dark things and been around some, like, dudes who were, like, really on that level, and I've still never seen a demon.
But yo, I'm not saying you see a demon. What I'm saying is you might not even be aware that a demon is there. You understand? Because this isn't an entity that's within the visible light spectrum. This isn't an entity that's a physical being. You feel me?
Technically, the really powerful ones could manifest physical form if they choose to. It just depends how close you are in relation.
What I'm trying to say is, to me, a demon would be some shit that's basically injecting thoughts into your mind, where you believe they're your own thoughts, but they're not. They're injected into your mind. You're perceiving it to be your own thoughts, and it's designed to make you fail a test. You know what I'm saying? It's to test you. You feel me?
So
to make you feel bad for the things that you think. Do you ever think some shit that you would never think? It appalled you, the thing that you just thought. Do you ever think something that appalled
all the goddamn time?
Right. Why the fuck would you think something that appalled you?
Why? All right, I'm gonna tell you why. Right? It's because like your brain will stand here and manifest things inside of your motherfucking head, right? That, you know what I mean, are there to like allow you to work shit out, right? So like all the, you know what I'm saying, all the shit that like you go through every day is processed by your motherfucking mental. And your brain's a giant pattern recognition machine. So when it sees something or it thinks about something and something happens, right? Like your brain might bring something up from your subconscious that's bothering the shit out you to motherfucking sit here and put that at the forefront of your head because that might be something that's harming you at the moment. Right? And like this happens to me, you know, I mean, especially recently, it's been happening to me a lot. Right, where like, you know, I'll have a thought that is motherfucking terrible and awful, and it's just trash.
Yeah.
And like my brain, I stand here and I go like, man, listen, like I know what you're doing, you know what I mean? And like, I would never in my life, you know what I'm saying, like motherfucking be on that level. And like it immediately gets pushed out, but that's not a demon.
That's a demon, bro.
No, it's myself testing myself. It's not a demon. I'm telling you, it's not.
Yo, check me out, right? So, how could you tell if it was a demon?
Yeah, what if it was? Maybe
because I know myself.
Well, you know yourself, though.
Well, let me support this.
I know me 100%. I know me, dude.
Yeah,
I know me better than I know me. Like,
you gotta realize this is happening in a non-physical dimension.
No. This is I know me.
The point at which this happens is energy that's flying, you know what I'm saying, through the synapses of your brain, which is physical matter, right? 99.99 to the 12th digit, 4% empty space, right? With a little fucking arc of shit that's phasing in and out of existence 50% of the time, right? And you're telling me, right, that shit that's going on in there is impervious to external input.
No. Like, all right, so here's the mentality, right? So, like, once you've been damaged to a level mentally and spiritually, right, where like emotionally, once you've been damaged on that level, like it's almost like a scar on your fucking on your mentality, on your mental, on your brain, right? And it's like a soft that's a numb pain that you always feel, right? And every once in a while, like it gets sharp, you know what I mean? Almost like as if like you have a toothache and you breathe in too hard or you eat something cold, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, that fucking toothache, you know what I mean? But you learned how to like cope with that pain to the point where, like, you know how like when you're like you like have like a bad smell somewhere, you know what I mean? You get used to it, you go nose blind to it. Same type of thing with your mental. You know what I mean?
That by us being saturated with all types of technologies that's messing with different kinds of frequencies, and us eating all kinds of different poisonous, toxic foods with heavy metals that also amplify these frequencies or whatever, and then also people getting crazy medicines now is even gonna, you know what I mean, this is gonna add a whole nother dimension to what I'm even talking about. But fucking, you know what I mean, the reality is we can't tell, right, for sure that the thoughts that we're having are our own thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
We did a live stream on this last week. I'll be real. We did a live stream on this last week, right? Where like we were talking about propaganda, right? And whether or not like what we're spouting is it our propaganda or is it somebody else's who put it there, right? Is it something that we're regurgitating? Is it something that we're bringing up that somebody else wants to be there, right? And like I feel where you are, right? But ultimately, that's a process for yourself to motherfucking work out.
What I'm trying to say though is, bro, you got to realize that we're only perceiving a very small percentage of reality and what is there.
There you go.
We as, you know what I mean, spiritual beings having an experience in a human body are limited by the central nervous system and the inputs that we can receive. Like a blind guy can't see, you know what I mean? There's different things that we're limited by this body, but
like the fish don't know what air is, the same as we don't know what space is.
What I'm saying is the mind doesn't really exist in a physical realm.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mountain, go ahead, my brother.
All right, so when Mike says that could be a demon and you say it can't be a demon because I'm in total control of my own thoughts, right? You're both saying the same thing, but coming at it from different angles. And I happen to agree with Mike, and I would justify it this way. If you look at the totality of what you are and what we all are as just, you know, creatures, right? We don't have the ability to sense a lot of things. It's metabolically expensive to operate our brain. It only serves certain functions and it's limited. But subjectively, when we explore our inner space, we think it's infinite. It's like when you first get a computer, you're like, wow, this thing does everything. After a while, you master it and you're like, oh, well, all right, it's got limitations. So as a perception machine, that's only limited to certain things, like certain energies that you can perceive. You know, you can't see there's a lot of light out there, like a lot. We see a very slim portion of light, and we have to guide through our reality based on only that. Like, we don't know what we don't see. We don't know what we don't know. You know what I'm saying? Our senses are limited to like 6. There are 5 hard senses in that 6th sense. And we don't understand the brain. Like, we're out here using intelligence to like make medicines to fuck with people's brains and chemistry because we observe the chemicals, but we don't know what we're really doing as a whole. You know what I'm saying? So it could both be true. Like what you're saying is like, no, I know my own thoughts, and what Mike's saying, like, no, it could be outside influences that you just can't tell are outside influences because you're not thinking about it from the outside in. You're thinking about it from the inside out. They could both be true at the same time.
And then we can even add a third and fourth level to it and say that, yo, these things could be external, artificial, and intentional. This could be really technological. There's really no way you would know. If there was some type of nanotechnology, you would not be able to perceive it.
Yeah, we would have no idea. We really have no idea what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, and this shit could have been operating since the beginning of time through these bloodlines. You know what I mean? As an artificial coil around their DNA, bro. With some kind of
here's where I'm at, right? So like I've always had this thought that like if you're a thinking individual, if you know what I mean, like you live your life, right? Whereas like I live my life every day. I don't get high, I don't really drink, I don't, you know what I mean, like fucking toxify myself, I eat properly, I exercise, I do all these type of things to try to keep my fucking tempo proper, right? On top of that, like I live every moment as if it's the last moment that I'm ever gonna have, or like that I'm never gonna motherfucking experience another moment in this depth again. Right. And so therefore, when I'm sitting with my thoughts and I'm sitting here and my brain, you know, I mean, switches up on me on some dumb shit, I know it's my brain. Right. It's my brain motherfucking standing here going, you know what I mean? Like, yo, I want to express something to you that like you're not really capable of motherfucking sitting here having that conversation with anyone in public, and you're not capable of standing here, you know what I mean, like dealing with this at this second. So I'm going to share this with you. I'm a motherfucking make you look at this shit right now. You know what I mean? Right now. What up?
The majority of people's thoughts are negative, and they don't benefit them in any way.
Mine do. Mine benefit me quite often.
Not if they're negative.
I don't have a lot of negative thoughts.
You know what I mean? If you're doing mental alchemy and finding a problem, turning it into solutions, that's not a problem. But what I'm saying is the majority of people, you know what I'm saying? 80-something% of their thoughts are negative thoughts. And they don't help them in any way. They just further just drive these people into the ground.
Have you ever ran down a hill?
Yep.
Yeah, when you run down a hill and what you're doing is you're letting your feet catch you. You're basically falling and letting your feet catch you, right? And it's the same way that I kind of live my life day to day, is that as I'm moving, hey, Wizard, how you doing? Right? As I'm moving through my life as a whole, what I'm doing is I'm allowing my brain to catch me as I go.
Right.
If that makes any sense, right? I'm not like personally standing here trying to control the situation, but I'm trusting my brain to be able to do it for me because I know it can. Right. So like my brain to me is a tool.
That's right.
Right. And I allow it to motherfucking stand here and guide me to where I need to go. And I'll be honest with you, most of the time its outcomes are better than I could ask for.
So if your brain is a tool, then the missing ingredient, like, so you're not your brain, it's the spirit that uses the brain as a tool. Therefore, it could also be valid that other tools that's part of your makeup is picking up on other energy, and those kind of dark impulses come from somewhere else. It's not necessarily.
You gotta understand.
I think my brain blocks other people's.
Tom, I'm trying to tell you that there's fucking, like, imagine invisible parasites, right? That if you do certain things, they grow and they get stronger. They're really weak in the beginning, but like we can weaken our spiritual armor through toxic substances, like drinking tons of alcohol, drugs and shit. This weakens our fucking spiritual armor, bro, if you want to call it. And we become easily affected by these demons. You know what I'm saying? I just think that
I agree with you. Right?
Maybe you live in a certain kind of life where your interaction with these external things is very like subtle. So you just think it's like your own shit and you can handle it. But like maybe if you were doing all this other shit, you would have seen that these things can become stronger. They can make you think and do things that you would never fucking do. You know what I mean? And the outcome is not good all the time.
Yeah, and I don't believe that is because
I'm gonna tell you what this is, right? A lot of this is like individuals really not having the actual faith you're supposed to have in the Most High and what He's created, right? Like, if you really have faith in God, right? If you actually have that faith, you believe in yourself because He created you, and you are the greatest weapon that God's ever made, right? To fight against anything in the end of the deal.
Yo, Tom.
Yo, what
did you ever chase a piece of pussy and do all kinds of like crazy shit to get that pussy? And then after you got that pussy, you were like, why the fuck did I do all that shit to get that pussy?
Well, yo, we all do that shit. You know that.
I feel you, but there was an energy, right, that drove you, right? And as soon as you busted that nut, right, you wasn't really so driven anymore.
Well, yeah, man. Like, yo, that's the gratification. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that lust goes away once you get rid of that motherfucking, you know, that seed that comes out of your body.
So what I want to propose to you is imagine different types of lusts, right? That to me is demons, right? That, you know, there's people that'll have a lust to fight, a lust to kill. You know what I mean? There's different kinds of lusts, and these are demons. And if these people feed these demons, they grow stronger. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if the person's not actively killing people, whatever, you know, people feed these demons by, you know what I'm saying, degrading themselves and watching things and listening to shit. They get put under spells by these fucking warlocks and wizards out here in the world. You know what I mean? Some people call them entertainers and musicians, right? But they're all little hat funded musicians who are warlocks and wizards. And they're putting spells on the masses, getting them to just basically summon up demons in their own house. And, you know, shit's just getting crazy. They push toxic chemicals to make people weaken, so they're more subject to demons. You got to realize this whole system is designed to basically conjure up as much fucking wickedness and evil as possible. And that's why people like me and you, Tom, had to go through the fucked up shit that we had to go through.
Well, what if it's just women vote?
It's not.
What if it's just women vote?
No. It's the little hats trying to create chaos on Earth so that they can be like, you know what I mean? We have a solution, and that solution is this whatever the fuck, and that whatever the fuck is how they completely control everything and say, look, it was our God, and we're the chosen ones, and you're our, you know, slaves because you didn't believe it. And they're going to try to control everyone, you know what I mean?
Hey, Mike, I have a proposition.
Yeah.
In all due respect,
what
if it's just you trying to, you know, rationalize the things you went through? Try and say that, like, maybe, you know, this happened for a reason when it was
you could sit here and say whatever you want, right? I don't personally give a fuck. I mean, do your research and you'll see what I'm saying.
Well, like, yo, I've done this research, right? Like, yo, I've done this research, and every time I do this research, it just makes 100%. Right, yo, fucking William, what up, man? This is not motherfucking the MGTOW stream, right? This is something else completely, right? Like, yo, I've done every time that I get back to like the bottom base of what all this shit is that women vote and women are goddamn consumers. Every fucking time, and it's just they don't fucking care about. They don't. No. Listen. All right, so like. You add in the idea of liberalism being the ideology and religion of the merchant class, right? Where like they are not responsible for their society and they're not responsible for anything more than making profits, right? And then you add in the other side of the spectrum of where you go, what is the way to be able to make the most amount of fucking money possible, right? And like, yo, you go, you sell to people who are willing to buy dog shit for a high price, right? And it ends up coming up to the level where you go, who's buying this dog shit? And you go, the number one consumer of all this terrible shit that you're calling wicked and that I would call trash, right? I would call dog water. I would call bullshit is females. Right. And like literally it's just you go back and forth and you go, well, they don't care about society as a whole. They just don't. And they don't see what they're doing and they don't really care about what they're doing. Right. Because like, yo, it's not affecting them personally, and they're making money off of it, and women buy shit, you know what I mean? And like, yo, they want to be able to buy more shit, right? And they beg for more shit. It's not demons, it's not evil, it's not anything more than profit. And if you want to say money is the root of all evil, sure, why not? We go there, but I don't think it's evil and demons and fucking warlocks and wizards and shit.
Bro, there's shit going on, bro. And whether or not you believe it, that doesn't make it false.
Well, I'm telling you to disprove me.
I mean, you want me to disprove that there's not witches and warlocks, bro? They're all over the place.
No. I want you to disprove that it's not women buying bullshit.
I don't think
women buy fucking magic wands and shit online, bro, to do witchcraft.
They're women.
You know what I mean? And they buy capes. What do you? I mean, what do you think?
Reality.
You guys can't create a standoff with this argument because they're both true at the same time.
I don't think they are. I don't think it's witchcraft. I don't think it's fucking magic. I don't think it's evil. I think it's just profit motive.
Well, it's not magic. What it is manipulation of the human psyche. Like they understand.
I think
that's what witchcraft is. It's manipulating people. This is what I mean. Propaganda is witchcraft, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Someone
who knows.
If you can get people to do things with your words, that's witchcraft, sir. What it is.
That's not witchcraft. That's just me being charismatic.
Being able to manipulate others through speech, through the word, abracadabra. You know what I'm saying?
Well, like no, it's just that like my speech is compelling.
Maybe
right. If your speech is compelling, you create things with you know what I mean, with your words, then it's witchcraft. It's magic.
Hold on a second, Cap. Were you trying to say something?
I was gonna say maybe it's just that some individuals are smarter than others. So like that's just sort of
Sparky 1000%. I am saying that 100%, my brother.
Yeah.
People are smarter than others.
Y'all's kind of the giants throwing hands and shit, but
But what is intelligence? You know what I mean? Matter.
What does intelligence?
Well, intelligence matters a lot, right? So, like,
in this current system and setup, what is your intelligence level exactly equal here?
Here, your intelligence level is my.
All right. So, Sparky, there's a difference between. Like, you have to understand, it's not like I'm anti-capitalist and pro-commie, right? Because communism is dumb and only works on a small scale, right? Like, what I'm saying is that, like, mass capitalism with no fucking borders on it, with no, like, fucking guidelines to go, like, hey, look, you have to have values, you have to have a culture, you have to have a heritage, is bad. Right? Because you end up with where we are today, where like literally like everything that you understand of being an American or everything you understand about your life as a whole and what you're supposed to be was fucking set up by some ad agency. Right? And that's propaganda, right? In the end of the day. And it's not magic. It's just motherfuckers stood here and figured something out that's really fucking brilliant.
Names, bro. They didn't figure it out. This shit has existed for a long time. They just figured out how to tell you it's not magic.
Well, it's again, it's not a magic thing, right? So like okay, let me put it like this.
Why does Disney create propaganda, right? To brainwash your kids, and you know what I'm saying Mickey Mouse is a fucking wizard.
Aircraft, you get banned in Frank's joint too, man. Hang on, man. Listen, I'm gonna drop you a link, and I'm gonna kick probably Navison out because he's not saying nothing. Give me 1 second, my brother. Go ahead. Mike, say what you're gonna say.
I'm saying Mickey Mouse is a fucking wizard.
I'll kick you out so I can talk to Aircraft.
Like the point is, it's really simple because you want to sell as much merchandise as possible to mothers, and women are generally more susceptible to propaganda because they generally never had the survival instinct to think critically on a survival life or death basis. But men constantly have to get exposed to negativity and all the strife in the world because it was pivotal to survival. So they had to use logic and reason in a way to not fucking die and ensure the continuation of their offspring for generations to come.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, I love Navi. That was really brilliant. I'll be real. That was really fucking brilliant. I'm gonna leave you here, right? And because Primal ain't said shit like most of the entire time he's been here. Aircraft, you want to come in? You know what I'm saying?
What do you even say about women and they have to keep their families? So they what are you talking about?
Navi.
women are adaptable, right? Like, so like women, all right, so look, when a woman gets with like a conservative guy, she becomes a conservative, right? When she gets with a liberal guy, she becomes liberal, right? When she gets with a guy who, you know what I mean, likes to be like violent in bed, she becomes violent in bed, right? You're legitimately, women are goddamn chameleons, right? And so like they'll fit into whatever box you're gonna fucking put them into. Therefore, they're much more susceptible to things like propaganda that motherfucking sell them bullshit, and they don't want to be motherfucking, and they're not actually tied to like wait. They're not tied to a community or a motherfucking culture due to the fact that like they have throughout evolution always been like they've always been a prize of a war. They have not fought the wars, and so therefore they have to be accepted.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you guys are saying. I just think that maybe like, all right, so in sales, right, you learn something. It's not facts, logic, truth that sells a product, right? It's an impulse, and it's usually emotional. That's what causes people to buy shit. So if you can control the emotional state, right, and the impulse of the person, you know what I mean, cause urgency, you'll sell them some shit. The reason why I believe females are big consumers is because they are, by like statistically, way more emotional than men.
True.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you'll also find a fucking study that's going to tell you gay men are bigger consumers than straight men. And the reason why is because they're clearly experiencing way more emotions.
Yeah,
well, it's not just that, right? It's also the fact that like they don't have kids, so they have much more fucking cash.
I'm sure you'll find a study that shows that men that have high levels of estrogen are gonna be bigger consumers. Are you gonna say that's why they're fucking putting BPA in the water? Like, you know what I mean?
No. They do. Again, like, what they do is that they just do shit that's cheap, right? You know what I mean? They don't really give again, they get back to liberalism is the religion of the merchant class. They don't have morals about and values about the things that we do. They don't
We can't just hate women for being women. You know what I mean?
I don't hate women, and that's the point. It's not about hating women. It's about understanding what all this comes from.
Their biology. Yeah.
What does it have to do with women, bro? Women aren't controlling the world.
They are.
Nah, bro. Who's selling them the shit? It's not women.
It's not about women. Women dictate what's more.
If they're the consumer, they're not the seller.
Because women are the only species in the animal kingdom, except for platypi and seahorse, that produce offspring. And
so this is what it is.
The next generation.
Right? This is what it is. The women produce the offspring, right? And you're sitting here saying, yeah, they're the consumer. But what does that really mean? That means that for every one of those women, there has to be some man enslaved, right? Who is he enslaved to? The little hats selling shit to the women. It's just indirect slavery. You don't understand. I mean, it's so what if the women are buying stuff? Who's selling the fucking stuff? Who made the system of buying the stuff?
Hold on a second.
The little hats selling the stuff.
It doesn't matter. Like, again, the problem is that your women aren't controlled.
You're looking at like the end of the train, but you're not looking at the beginning of the train. Who the fuck is driving this ridiculous clown train?
Again, what keeps all this shit at bay is motherfucking men having control over the women.
No, what keeps all this shit at bay is firepower.
Shit's organic. Yo.
That's
if there's
all.
a market, people are going to sell shit.
Don't
if
really
there's
have
someone to
firepower
buy,
for
there's
women
going to be a
anymore.
fucking market.
That's the problem. The government.
It's not. There's no malicious intent here.
All right,
it's
hold
just
on.
A fucking. It's a rock rolling down a hill.
It's both. There's malicious intent, and there's also.
There's not malicious.
Let me go.
We've talked on this like 8 different times. There's not fucking
okay.
malicious
Well,
intent.
let me demonstrate for you how there's actual malicious intent. Right, the violent rap music produced by who?
The little hats.
The little hats. I mean, dude, that's not an accident. It really wasn't.
Again, like who? All right. So when it first came out, right? You know what I'm saying? And like it turned into lyricists and shit. You know what I'm saying? It turned into motherfucking like it turned into like fucking like some art form. One of the greatest rappers of all time ended up coming out. And he was a poet. Right. He was trying to make social changes that were better off for like everybody in his community. And then he was murdered. And then it turned into, to the ski catch on my balls.
And
you know what I'm saying? And like,
you could look into all the United States street gangs knowledge. I know a lot of it. And it's all based in little hat knowledge and witchcraft and wizardry.
Is it not evil to profit and promote stuff that just kind of brings everyone down and makes them more violent towards each other and shit like that?
No, it is not.
All right. Well, all right. How about this? Here's another example. If you look at advertising, the way they manipulate the psyche with certain shades of colors, not showing, like if you look at like a bottle of freaking laundry detergent, how they cut the top of the head off so that you don't see the eyes, so you get this disconnected from humanity kind of, like a lot of this stuff has been researched and it appears demonic.
Well, I know it appears demonic, but it's not. It's just advertising, right? It's like what works in the end of the day.
Yeah. And trust me, I know.
Yo, what up, Aircraft Sparky? You want to mix it up, man? Like yo, legit, like yo, because like yo, I'm in here mixing it up right now. You want to get it done?
I'm just listening to this one cat talking about this big dick circumcised motherfucker that took his girl away from him, man, and he's crying about it.
Yo, what? Yo, who? What?
It happens.
No hard feelings. Trying to blame everything.
I'll beam you up, bro. Sparky, you better calm down, bro. You get beamed up to the mothership, bro.
All right, bro. I'll give you the address, man.
All right.
The coordinates.
Okay. All right. Anyway, right. So, all right. Look, you know what I'm saying? Yes, the Jews are selling terrible shit to society as a whole, right? But yo, again, the problem is, motherfucker. Yo, Ram Bizzle, what up, man? How the fuck you doing? Welcome over, my brother. It's nice to see you over here, right? Yo, legitimately, right? Yo, the problem is not motherfucking the Jews itself. Yo, the problem is we don't have any control on our females. That's the end of the day. When it really comes down to it.
If it was a society being crafting merchants, Jews they would more or less adapt to any virtue, to any society that has the most virtues, and they would do whatever they can to line their own pockets. Consider we live in a sexually deregulated market. It's just that right now, selling all this worthless crap is just very profitable, and of course the Jews are going to capitalize on it. It's not like they're the cause of it, it's more like they're just bagging on an already existing volatile opportunity.
So you're just saying they're just exploiting.
Facts. Yeah, because the gullible consumer is really the issue. If there's no money to be made in selling dumb shit, people wouldn't make dumb shit to sell.
But yo, it's not about controlling women, because you can't ever control another fucking sentient being. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, that's weird. That's weird because we did it for like fucking 5,000 years.
Look. Here's the problem that you don't understand. You can't actually control another sentient human being.
We did it for 5,000 years.
You can't.
More or less,
you can try. Has it ever worked?
It worked for 5,000 years up until the last 100.
How did it work?
Yo, we just took away the pocketbook and stopped giving them checking accounts and credit cards, and it stopped.
But what I'm saying is, do you have to control a person in order to like meet on a level of logic and fucking reason? You can't logic with a woman. You know what you do is you stand here and you all fucking like we make you. I think people are picking the wrong women. I think that's the problem.
Yo, no one's picking the wrong women. All women have. Again, it is negative reinforced. Wait, it is negative reinforced. You also live in the middle of the woods in a goddamn trailer surrounded by motherfucking trees.
I live in a house.
You live in a house trailer, right? You know what I'm saying? In the middle of the woods, in the middle of the woods, right? In the middle of the woods with your 3 kids and your woman, right? You know what I mean? Congratulations, my brother. That's right. Your girl is pregnant, ain't she?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yo, good job, Papa. Good job, Papa. Right? You know what I'm saying? Love you. You know the deal. You know what I'm saying? But like, yo, right?
Breeding a superior army. All right.
You can't beat the evil out of humanity. That's the thing.
There's no evil.
I think there is.
Nah, bro.
I think when you go against your own nature and corrupt your body and corrupt your mind with dumb shit and just kind of try to blame others for your own decisions.
Who's corrupting their body and mind?
Fallen world by nature.
What are you talking about?
Everybody.
I'm just saying is that it's not really that we ourselves. It's more like
hold on. Who are you talking about corrupting their body and mind? What are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about the world is fallen by nature.
But who's Mountain talking about?
I'm talking about your average Western person, right? Like eating junk, watching porn, drinking alcohol, like just basically poison themselves. And then when they like not getting educated, like we're just accepting everything that's handed to us. So we're not discriminating properly. and the market is just adapting to that.
The problem isn't that, Mountain, because you got to realize, look, in my life and in your life, you've probably drank alcohol, you've probably watched porn, you've probably done everything, right? I've done all kinds of crazy shit. The problem is that people don't look at themselves. They don't reflect internally and say, yo, what can I do to change about myself to make myself better, right? And they don't actually do it. Like they say they're going to do it, but they don't actually implement the changes into their life by like just not doing these negative things that they don't like about themselves.
Well, I agree with you. We're all flawed and we all deserve redemption, but you know, it shouldn't, just because we all kind of slip a little bit, it shouldn't be like a major industry. Like, you know how many women are doing OnlyFans and it's like their default fucking thing to do to make money right now. That's their hustle.
It's not their fault 100%. The big problem is that it's possible. The big problem is that they're all equipped.
Yo, it is not possible if you don't have fucking community, if you don't have fucking heritage, if you don't have culture, if you don't have anything more than a motherfucking society which is based on like, yo, look, you know what, listen, the entire American dream of a white picket fence and you know what I'm saying, 2.3 kids and fucking 2 cars in the garage, yo, that was all come up with by the fucking Ford Corporation in an advertising campaign.
It's a lie. Look, and right now you got to understand that they just had this country in the pressure cooker. People are hurting for money. The economy is in the fucking toilet and they're crashing it intentionally. They're cutting off food supplies. They're fucking everything up. They're inflating the fucking inflation. They got fucking clowns running around all up and down town. What you have to understand is, right?
Mike.
The problem is the reason why they're doing it is because they need money, right? Why do they need money? Because they've been brainwashed that they need all this other shit to be happy. And they don't have it right now. So they're going to do all this ridiculous shit like OnlyFans to try to get what they need because society isn't allowing them to do it. There's no way for these people to fucking survive no more. And it's only going to get worse.
All right, Sparky, what'd you say, man?
Oh, I didn't say anything, man. I'm just sitting here listening. I'm trying to learn now.
Well,
Mike's completely wrong about the food supply thing, especially if you're watching the whole Mississippi thing.
They dried the shit up.
Corn
they can't dry it.
Flood the U.S. market. Like we're not doing bad for food at all, especially here in the Northeast. Like, if you think we're down bad for food, yo, look at fucking Africa. Like they're not going to be too good here.
We're not going to feel it.
We're not. Yeah, we're going to be fine here.
What I mean is, we're not going to feel it like right off the bat. But what you got to realize is the grain is, it's like on a delay, and the grain that didn't get grown this last crop season, it's not going to hit us until later on this year. We're going to experience shortages. Shit's going to get more expensive, right? Yeah, we're going to end up buying everybody else's fucking grain, and they're going to starve to death. That's what's going to happen.
Yo, Prime, man. Let me say this. All right. First off, we're on the buy this week, and we're coming back even healthier. We're going to the rest of the season, so don't worry about it. I apologize.
There's a massive
NASA.
There's a massive depopulation, fucking, economy destruction agenda currently happening. Why do you think they're flooding the country?
Happen organically.
Why didn't they just open the border?
Too many people as a whole.
They need people.
Yeah, again, okay, all right. So here's the thing. Wait. Here's the thing. Okay, so here's the thing. First off, you can't just open the border because, again, workforce, right? Labor force. You need to be able to have a labor force that's able to pay taxes, right? And you need to have a labor force that's able to buy housing, right? And we have this problem of what we've had forever since the beginning of time.
It's not about labor.
Wait a minute. The more people you pack in the cities, right, the worse shit gets for everybody, right? Cities are terrible. They've always been terrible. They've been terrible since Samaria, all right? Ujek and all these fucking cities, they had the same problems we have today, right? Where literally, you end up having massive growth, a giant ass leap forward, and then motherfucking massive population decline, and then they end up getting conquered, and everything falls apart and collapses.
King Yeti doesn't understand why you want rain.
And many people, they usually cities then go back to rural areas to more or less grow their own food. And this was more or less catching up to the similar timeline to what the same patriarchs of the Bible were observing. Similar reactions to the Bronze Age collapse. I would say at around more or less post Bronze Age collapse, you started seeing a lot of these tribal folks started orchestrating into a cohesive unit, which would more or less be the Israelites back then. And so as a response to the trauma and the constant loss of this economic downturn, they had to more or less salvage what they can from the previous culture in order to ensure that they could still survive as a people.
Yeah, so like in Cairo in Egypt, they ended up having like fucking people who were producing a lot of wheat and grain and things of this nature, right? And it allowed the Egyptians to be able to stand here and like build a massive society on top of it with artisans and religious people and fucking bureaucrats and all this shit, right? And when they did this, though, what ended up happening was eventually it got to the point where like the grain, you know, I mean, was not being produced on the same level due to like the amount of salt inside of the soil, due to irrigation coming out of the top of the Nile and shit, you know, I mean, that was the closest to the Mediterranean Sea, you know, I mean, which is much more brackish water. And they ended up collapsing their entire society because they put too much shit on top of the motherfucking people who were actually producing the fucking food. Right now, in America and the Western world right now as a whole, in the world and just in general, we packed everybody into cities, and in cities you have less kids due to the fact that like, yo, kids in the city are basically like expensive motherfucking like little fucking pieces of furniture that motherfucking run around yelling and breaking shit. Whereas on a farm, kids are motherfucking free labor, right? So you have a whole bunch of them. And this is the problem that we're having right now. This is something that's happened for fucking ever, right? And like, yo, we don't fucking think about this. There wasn't anybody in charge and there's nobody planning anything. No one is actually collapsing shit on purpose. It's just happening because this is what happens when you do this. But they didn't think about this. All they thought about was next quarter's motherfucking GDP numbers, and motherfucking have been trying to drive that forward so that number one back in the 1980s they could beat the goddamn Ruskies, right? And then now at this point, it's just carrying off the momentum and trying to continue to have the fucking boomers be able to retire, right? And it's not sustainable.
Tom, you there? You there? Yo. They destroyed a massive fertilizer plant in Florida with a hurricane on purpose.
Yo, nobody's controlling the hurricane.
If they're not controlling the weather, then why did the countries all make agreements not to control each other's weather? And why is there patents to control the weather?
So what you're talking about is
what I'm saying is they're controlling the weather.
Shit.
You have to understand that
clouds back in the 60s and shit.
Listen, bro, the Republican dude, bro, DeSantis down in Florida is fucking around, bro. They were like, all right, you want to fuck around, bro? And they smacked him with a fucking hurricane. All right, I'm not playing with you. Look at the footage from the hurricane, bro. This shit makes
bullshit, man.
This shit making a sharp
bullshit.
Look it up.
Motherfucker need to learn some physics and shit. God damn.
Look it up, bro. Yo, they're spraying, right? They're spraying the air with metallic dust, right, on a nanoscale, and they're using electromagnetic waves, right, to direct those particulates that are suspended in the air in order to control the movement of air and thus the weather. I completely understand how it's being done. You can watch it being done. You don't have to believe me. Because you don't believe it, it doesn't mean it's not true.
So
you know
I'll just tell you a little bit of something about me, man. I used to fly through hurricanes for a living.
I know you've told me before this.
So
I still seen it happen.
I know what happens in storms, how they form. I mean, I'm no meteorologist.
I'm saying that under natural circumstances, I agree with you, Aircraft Sparky. But what I'm saying is this is artificially induced with technology that they've put into the environment, and that's what they're actually controlling. They're not controlling the literal weather, right? They're controlling their metallic particulate dust that they've sprayed into the environment, and thus
okay, man. So I hear you. But there's a
you know what I mean? Like you know about high altitude frequency projectors, you know, HARP, the array. Massive, you know what I mean? They use that to vibrate the ionosphere. You know this. This is the point of it, and that's where this. You know what I mean? Like China was manipulating the weather to cause their, you know what I'm saying, their stadium during the Olympics not to have rain, and they admitted this. Like we have openly admitted that we have the ability to control weather. It's just a matter of if they're using it to cause natural disasters. That is the question, and I'm going to tell you straight up. I believe they are. 100%. I believe they are.
No, I hear that you believe, but see, I'm just trying to figure out exactly how all these motherfuckers are doing this shit. because the only
and basically chemtrail dusting the shit out of the sky. I mean, that's the real reason why they're doing it, is to basically cause the ionosphere and the different layers of the sky to be electromagnified. You know what I mean? To be conductive, if you would, so they can hit it with electromagnetic waves.
So how do you control? So how do you square
There's
the circle?
patents. You can look this up. There's tons of patents on this technology proven to exist.
So you're not letting me finish.
Go ahead.
How do you square this circle about weather fronts such as cold and warm fronts and shit? Because at the end of the day, that's what you got to control in order to push weather.
I mean, you might be able to control weather more than one ways, though. I'm just saying.
We do know how to increase or decrease precipitation. Okay, yes, I will tell you 100% that shit does exist. Okay, but last time the U.S. government really tried to do anything like that to fuck with the weather, what we were doing mostly is we started using it over in Vietnam, trying to bog down the VC over the Ho Chi Minh Trail, and then we're like, you know what, maybe we can get a hurricane to rain itself out, and that's how Camille became the monster it was. But nah, man, I just don't see. I don't see them steering. I don't see them steering.
Anyway, the hurricane.
You got to control high and low pressure systems.
So, check this out. The hurricane that hit Florida hovered over one of the largest phosphorus plants in the United States, phosphorus fertilizer, and it completely wrecked it.
I mean,
probably just coincidence. You can't say that was
yet again.
Yeah, that's a mad coincidence right now that they're trying to crash the whole fucking country, and it just so happens that they're trying to wreck the
all right. So wait a minute. Okay, so here's the thing. You do have cloud seeding that they do, right? They do this all the time in places like Texas, right? To make it rain. You know, I mean, they do this shit on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? It's called cloud seeding. It's existed since like the 1940s and shit, right? But what they don't have is the ability to actually like push storms in one way or another, right? Yeah, because those are controlled. Those are controlled by like jet streams that are so motherfucking big that it's too big. It's too big.
They're using ground-based frequency technology from cell towers and shit to move and steer fucking storms. Now you don't have to believe me. That's what you want to do. I've seen the patents for it. I've seen it. It's exactly the way the patents describe. They're using it to cause tornadoes. We had the longest tornado run up the middle of the country about a half a year ago, bro. It was the longest tornado that ever ran through there, bro. It was like 200 something miles. And when you see
like,
when you see the tornado hit,
200 miles,
it's in a perfect fractal out of nowhere. It was straight triggered. It was fire.
Do you know how tornadoes form, bro?
Yeah, I know how they form, bro.
Okay, so it's about differences in temperature and shit like that, man.
Yeah, usually when you got hot and cold, you get tornadoes. You know what I mean? You get a fog cloud that touches down. I know what you're saying.
Variables for you to claim that people are trying to control, man.
I'm not claiming that they're trying. I'm saying that they are, and you know what I mean. If the technology is there, I'm not saying that they're trying. I'm saying they're doing it.
I'm saying they can't do it.
You know what I mean? You don't have to believe me. Like I said, I don't have a picture of them doing it.
No.
You know what I mean?
It's almost as preposterous as to believe as the fire.
I don't have their testimony written either. You know what I'm saying? So other than having a picture or their testimony, bro, I can't prove it.
How much
you realize that what you're saying sounds about as bad as the fire lasers that came down and burned California. I mean, come on.
That's what it is, bro. I honestly think that they're lighting California up, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how they're doing it.
Well, they have the evidence of these, like they have like 100-year-old motherfucking hangers that like wore fucking through the whole way. They're like horseshoes that ended up like wearing the entire way the fuck through the metal from just friction rubbing on that bitch from the wind blowing on these fucking these hangers for like 100 years, and it just busted them and they fell down and the wires fucking caught the goddamn brush on fire due to the fact of not being good stewards to the motherfucking forest and shit and doing controlled burns and getting the brush out of the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not fucking controlled space lasers, and they're not also not controlling the weather, because if they were, the Mississippi River wouldn't be going dry right now. You know what I mean? They make it motherfucking rain.
They want it to be dry, bro. I'm trying to tell you, they're trying to destroy this fucking
Northern Cali wouldn't be running out
they're
of water right
They're
now.
not trying to destroy this country. They want this. They want to kick this motherfucker down the fucking.
You're fucking this country up, bro.
No, they're trying to kick the can down the road as long as they possibly can.
They're sacrificing it, bro.
There is no sacrifice to be made.
There is really no.
You realize our country has the most natural resources out of anywhere on the fucking planet?
So why are we so fucked?
Because
the baby boomers suck.
Management.
Because the baby boomers are fucking trash.
And they were only looking out for their fucking bottom dollar.
So the idea of the majority of U.S. foreign policy has been based around using up everyone else's foreign fucking resources before we utilize our own.
That's
You're
exactly
not wrong when it comes down to the amount of resources that we have in America. We are probably one of the most plentiful countries when it comes to natural resources. But the deal is, it wasn't a bad plan. The problem with the boomers' plan to do that is it depended on the rest of the world staying ignorant to what the fuck we were doing. Well, due to communication, technological advances and shit, communication, we made the world way smaller, and people started realizing, oh, fuck, these people are just taking advantage of us. And so they're like, no dice. And really, that's what's happened. That's really what we're seeing right now is the idea that the
people who sell us out to those developing nations so they can get quick bucks.
Yeah. Look at how these people over in America are taking advantage of you. Look, we're the truth bringers, man. We'll help you. Just give us the access you gave America, and that's the issues that we're running across. It's
well, no other nation fought itself to free people and change itself. No other nation did that but us.
To be fair, we didn't fight to free people.
That's not the original reason to start the war, but that's the incentive of why brother fought brother out on the fucking fields there. Was because the reason did feel like people should be free.
And it's some bullshit that you were taught that is just false, man. Look, the Civil War had nothing to do with slavery. Lincoln didn't free one.
In some parts, slave. Rest assured, it did.
That is literally how they sold it to the fucking North.
That is how they sold it. That's why people sent their money
initially. So look, the way they sold it to the North initially is, look at what they did to our Union soldiers at Fort Sumter. We need to these secessionists. We need to stop, and we need to keep the Union whole. That was what was being sold right off the bat. The problem is it wasn't doing enough to bring in recruitment. So after the invasion of Pennsylvania by the Confederacy, which was the downfall of the fucking Confederacy, if they would have just stayed defending their own land, the Confederate States of the United States may have still existed today, which I'll tell you is fucking evil because I think slavery is bad. However, it did not become about slavery until after the invasion of the North by the South. And this is where you see the Gettysburg Address. Once the Gettysburg Address is brought along, that is when the biggest lie that we have ever taught the American people came into play. And what that was is that the Emancipation Proclamation freed slaves. There was 3 slave states that existed in the Union. It did not free a motherfucking state. All it did was free states in the secession areas. However, once they were captured by Union soldiers, they didn't free the slaves because they figured it was better to utilize those people as slave labor themselves. It had nothing to do with slavery. It was all just a sales pitch after following the battles in the Northeast.
The point result, though, is that it did get thrown in there and it did happen, and no other country did to go fight with itself to make that happen.
Well, no, I hate to tell you this, man, but the Brits would tend to disagree because they were freeing motherfuckers well before we did.
We ended it before they did.
No,
that's not true. Yo, Britain actually outlawed slavery. I want to say in like 1803 or some shit like that.
Yeah, it was like 1820s, I think, Tom. But But here's the deal, man. Look,
everything we know is
that grade
right?
school, that grade school understanding the
Seems
history
like
that exists, man. That is a problem with our public school system. They have taught you wrong, man, and I am sorry they did that. But here's the reality.
Mr. Unknown. Did you hear about slavery?
Yeah.
I disagree.
And you disagree?
Yeah, I disagree.
All right.
You're a deniist? What the fuck?
Bro, it's
man, fucking Mr. Unknown. Mr. Unknown is one of my favorite dudes on Discord. He just pop in and be like, did you hear about the moon? I agree.
Mr. Unknown, tell him about the good news.
I think Pops would be proud of us right now. You can't fool Pops would be pretty proud.
If you guys like and describe this live stream, I will be happy.
Tell him about the good news, bro.
Yeah. The good.
You could save 15% or more by switching to Geico. No.
Mr. Unknown, man. Mr. Unknown, man. Say some random ass nonsense that you usually be saying, man.
Okay, what up, guys? It's Mr. Unknown here. Please, guys, just describe this. Subscribe to this channel. We're so happy with. Appreciate it.
It's so easy.
I love Mr. Unknown. He's the best guy. He's so cool for no reason.
I'm pretty sure I put him in your server, bro.
Nah, man, I got him off of I got him off of motherfucking the goddamn what was it shit, not the political debate, the other one, man, where fucking what's his name was.
I found you, bro. I'm telling you.
I found him too. He's fucking awesome. One of my favorite dudes.
Maybe he's everywhere, bro. But I'm pretty sure I put him in somebody's Discord. I can't remember.
Yeah, because I know I found him on Neuro server over on goddamn it, I forget the name of it. Shit, man, that fucking pisses me off.
Had me go into these crazy European servers on Discord, bro, battling people about the fucking jab, bro, and the fucking AI that's gonna take over their brain.
I had something to say about that. Isn't there a lot of people of young health that are dying due to blood clots, and they all have the same fucking, they're fully vaccinated, booster shots.
Hold on. We can't say those words, bro. This will get banned. We gotta say words that aren't real. You know what I'm saying? We gotta say jab.
Okay, never mind. Disregard me. I'm an idiot.
Or we gotta say like the juice or something. You know what I mean? You can't say full medical terms on certain shit.
The jab.
You know what I'm saying? Because we can't give no medical advice, bro. We ain't doctors.
I could be talking about fingers, but whatever.
Yeah, but we just gotta say something else, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, bro, these people have gotten these, you know what I mean, juices, bro. They're all juiced up now, and yeah, people are fucking getting that shit because what happened is that's actually just a symptom of a rejection, and that's a small percentage of people. It's not actually intended to do that. You know what I mean?
Shane, you are not a blood clot expert. To be a fact, you're not even old enough to even talk about blood clots in the first. No,
not actual blood clots. They are synthetic, artificial, self-assembling technology that is malformed, and it is causing a restriction of blood and an impediment of the blood. You know what I mean?
Yo, what up, gaming? And by the way, Mike, they're actually meth labs inside people's bloodstreams. All right,
exactly.
Stick to the Lord.
We predicted this was gonna happen. See, they're calling it myocarditis, right? But it's really just meth labs in their heart. We have a clip, bro. Run the clip.
Yo, man, I don't have the clip on me. I can't just run the clip. Don't be fucking over here expecting me to motherfucking be prepared for every time.
People are gonna start freaking out over chicken.
And by the way, Willie, you are the oldest person on this motherfucking stream right now. Legitimately. Willie's the oldest motherfucking 25-year-old in the history of 25-year-olds and shit. Oh man. Shit. Oh yeah. Anyway, right. Anyway, yeah. Well, Shane, you got 2 blood clots because Shane got shot in the motherfucking leg and it busted his motherfucking femur and damn near blew his motherfucking leg off and shit. But that's why. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm gonna say fuck you, Applebee's too. But anyway, right, back to the conversation at hand. Right. The reason why we are where we are right now is because of the fact that boomers hit mass retirement. We lost 30% of our fucking workforce inside of 2 years. And everything's retarded and fucked up. The cost to hire labor is incredibly incredibly high. The insurance companies are demanding that everybody motherfucking get drug tested, even though like the entire population is smoking weed, right? Shit is completely fucking retarded. On top of that, the government stood here and told everybody that we're getting away from oil. So the oil companies don't want to build any more refinery plant or even fix the shit that they got. And we're running out of motherfucking diesel fuel to be able to move product around. And every product that hits your fucking plate, the average American like Eric Sparky eats, right, travels fucking 3,000 miles before it gets there. Right. So we need to have a real conversation about what's going on and what the future is, and not, you know, I mean, just stand here and keep virtue signaling, you know, I mean, and pretending that, you know, we're going to be just like pollution free forever.
I mean, as someone who's actually studied ecology, saying being pollution free forever is not possible. It's like you can't really switch to energy efficient models without causing some pollution one way or another. Energy in, energy out, garbage in, garbage out. You're usually trading one thing for another, and it really depends how much you can keep at a manageable level. It's not a panacea.
It's like when a field is fucking brush hogged in order to clear it for, solar panels. Imagine how many baby deer or rabbits are just blown apart.
I have a question.
Yeah, pretty much.
What's your question?
What happens when all these nanites now, the nanobots that is in people, right, connects to all their synapses, you know what I'm saying, and they start to collect enough data communicating with, you know what I'm saying, all the different, open air internet that we got now. You know, we got people putting out MAC addresses and shit. And, you know what I mean? What exactly happens when they start tapping into motherfuckers, you know what I mean, and control them and shit, like little fucking AI robots?
Yeah, we got guns, son. We're all right. Don't worry about it.
As the people, how do we deal with these fucking NPCs? Like, how do we know if we're even dealing with real human beings anymore? Like, how do we know
look, have you ever heard of Anastasia? Mike, have you ever heard of it?
What's that?
Anastasia, right? I think I'm saying it right, to be honest with you. I'm not 100% sure that I am. Right. Somebody double check me in the chat. Motherfucking is a disorder where literally, like, you don't have an imagination, right? Like, you know how, like, okay, everybody in this chat, I'm hoping that you guys don't have this shit. You can picture a spoon inside of your head, right? I don't care what the spoon looks like. Could be wood, could be metal, whatever the hell you want. And then you can manipulate it. You know what I'm saying? You can turn it around. You can look at it. You know what I'm saying? You can, like, picture it in somebody's hand, smacking somebody in the head, whatever you want to do, right? There are human beings who literally cannot do this.
Yeah, you want to know what that's called, bro?
It's called Anastasia.
It's called having a calcified as fuck pineal gland, bro.
I don't think you're wrong. Right. Motherfucking, somebody can look that up on Google for me. Throw it in motherfucking chat. Be appreciate it, man. I know we got like motherfucking 16 people out here watching us right now.
If your third eye, right, which is your fucking pineal gland, is fucking calcified, you can't picture shit in your head because shit won't open. You can't see. It's blind. You know what I mean?
Well, again, this gets back to like, all right, so she looked fun in her cars with kids, said he can't do it, right? Motherfucking, like, hang on, wait, fucking Shane Linsky said it's all blank up here, homie. Right, like,
you gotta take certain kinds of oils and shit. You know what I'm saying? There's certain kinds of oils that'll fucking break up the calcification, and you gotta reduce the amount of fluoride that you'd be taking in. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's not about fluoride, right? It might be. I'm not 100% sure, but like, when me and you, like, so, okay, I had this thought when I was like 12, right? I had this thought when I was like 12 or 13, right? And I was getting high. And I had this thought, and my brain went, okay, so like, what if when somebody's born, right? You know what I mean? Like, they see green grass, right? Like, we see green grass, but like, they see it as red. Right. And like, when they look at the motherfucking sky, you know what I'm saying? Like, instead of like a blue sky, they see like orange. Right. And like, when they're taught to color, you know what I'm saying? They grab the crayon, you know what I'm saying? That represents what they think is motherfucking green. Right. You know what I mean? And it'll be green to you, but it'll be fucking orange to them. Right. And so therefore, how do you know? Like, me, you, Willie, anybody in here is seeing the same thing or even has the same goddamn brain.
It's all based on perspective.
You technically don't, right? You technically don't. Everyone is never going to see exactly the same thing, and I can tell you why, right? So nobody right now can see their fucking nose, okay? But your nose is in front of your eyes.
Fuck you, I got a big nose.
What I'm saying is your brain automatically splices together two fucking streams of vision, unless you got one eyeball, and erases the fucking middle, and it's fucking seamless, right? Which what you have to understand is that what we're seeing, right, is not actually the direct images coming through our eyes, but it's our fucking mind that is creating the image of what we see.
Yo, it's aphantasia, APHANTASIA. Thank you, chat, for not fucking helping me, right? But like fucking, yeah, it's called aphantasia, right? Y'all can look it up on motherfucking Google and shit. It's actually not having any type of imagination as a whole, right? And so like when I say like I have a strong as fuck like imagination, like my ability to like take and put shit together, right? You know what I'm saying? Is, you know, like higher than most, right? And my ability to see things in my perspectives is higher than most. And I pay attention to fucking everything. And I somehow, I don't know how this happens, I have the ability to walk into places and not get noticed. Right? Like I can walk into an office and just walk by people and they have no idea I'm even there. And I can walk the fuck back out. I have a weird ability, right? And like I sometimes see the future when I'm like fucking daydreaming or sleeping, right? And like that shit will happen down the line. And I recognize that that's the future. It happens on a regular basis to me, right? So I know that my motherfucking brain doesn't operate the way a lot of people's does, right? And it's not demons, it's not evil, it's none of these type of things. It's the fact that like I have paid attention to my thoughts and my brain and what's going on all the fucking time so much that I'm now in tune with it much more than other people are.
I don't think it's that you're in tune with your brain.
That usually takes practice though. That kind of level of meditation could only come from like years of conditioning and years of always having a survival mode on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, and I can also lucid dream on command as well.
Fuck, dude, I can't even.
I'm just saying, bro. Then you don't have a calcified pineal gland. I mean, I don't understand.
Well, I've never had a Coca-Cola or a Pepsi or a Dorito or a Pringle or a root beer or fucking throwing a microwave fucking meal. I've never had any of these things in my lifetime. I haven't poisoned myself.
Never ever.
Never ever. I've also never had coffee.
What do you eat and drink?
Meat and potatoes and vegetables and fruit and Swiss iced tea and water.
Iced tea?
Yeah.
How much iced tea you be drinking?
Like a gallon a day.
Yo, do you know that tea has some of the highest ppm of fluoride out of any drink?
Yeah, I do. But like, it's the only poisonous thing that I put in my body.
It's a really bad one, yo.
Teeth with toothpaste. He uses urine.
Watch, I use hydrogen peroxide to brush my teeth.
Yo, I use coconut oil mixed with baking soda and oregano oil.
Dude, I feel bad for the chick that kisses you. Alcohol. Holy fuck.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, but like, yo, legitimately, like, yo, I've never had any of these poisonous things that the rest of y'all did. I haven't had a hot dog in like 30 years. Right. I don't eat trash. I don't put trash into my body.
I don't eat really too much bad shit either, bro.
I'm the equivalent to a trash receptacle. I'm covered in fucking chemicals and poison 24/7.
Yeah, so I'm saying, like, you know, I'm in.
Yeah. I'm a lean machine, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't drink any milk. I sometimes I have chocolate milk, especially in the winter when I need vitamin D. Like I'll crave it. You know what I mean? But like I know what my body craves is because like I'm low on a vitamin. So like I get it in my body. Yeah, I mean, what up, straight Sith male? Man, fucking how the hell you doing, my brother? Nice to see you out here.
Straight Sith, how you doing?
There's a bunch of dudes in the chat. Look at that.
Yo, Tom.
Yo, what up?
You want to know some crazy shit about weight?
What up?
Right? There's people that can't lose weight, right? And the reason why they can't lose weight is because they don't understand how weight works. See, people think that calories causes weight gain, right? Like body mass, and that's not true. The reality of body mass is either muscle, right? And that comes from tearing your body and then replacing it with proteins and shit, or toxic overload. People don't realize the body's defense mechanism against toxins is to encapsulate it in fat. and then slowly digest that fat and excrete the toxins, but not at a toxic level ever in the bloodstream. You get what I'm saying? It takes away the overload potential of that toxin being in the bloodstream, takes it out of the bloodstream, encapsulates it in fat. It stays there. Now, when people keep putting toxins in the body, they continue to add body fat, right? And they can't lose it because they're always putting toxins in. They don't fast ever. You know what I mean? They're always eating the same kind of bad diet, whatever it may be. And sometimes we be eating shit that we think is healthy and it ain't. That's the craziest. It's the craziest of things.
I just lost about 34 pounds in about 2 months.
Congratulations, Sparky.
Yeah.
Good shit.
So,
34
I started.
pounds, that's
man.
Think about weight and bowling balls.
Well, it's so it's actually 46 within 90 days, but it's just a matter of I just had to put in that work, stop drinking soda. Like
soda's the most terrible thing.
Yeah, and that
soda's
zero shit,
absolutely the worst.
That zero shit, they're like, oh yeah, no calories. Yeah, who gives a fuck?
All those artificial sweeteners, they
treats it like sugar. And
no, what happens is it disables your body's ability, right, to burn fucking calories while you drank that non-sugar sweetener, right? So any calories you take with an artificial sweetener, you're gonna gain more weight. You know what I'm saying?
Well, not like you can do like fucking fake sweeteners. Like you want to like, I don't know, like you want to have your, I don't know, like your drinks with, I don't know, like your water with your fucking aspartame shit or whatever the fuck it is.
No.
That's fine. No, you can do that, but you have to get outside to exercise. It is.
Yeah,
but you have to get outside to exercise.
So the doctors will tell you it's diet and exercise, and look, that shit's
fucking fake sugar shit cripples your body's ability to burn calories, bro.
What I was doing 5 days a week was I was lifting 5 days a week, and I'd hit the bike 2 days a week, and the whole deal was monitoring my heart rate the whole time during my exercise. If I'm lifting weights, I'm doing about an hour to an hour and a half worth of lifting weights, keeping my heart rate up around 120 to 140. And then when I hit the bike, I do the same thing. Now, I've gained a lot of muscle mass, so I probably lost more weight than what it shows on the scale. But that's, it's okay because building that muscle makes up for that shit.
I wouldn't do crazy exercise. I would build up slowly into it. You know what I'm saying? If I hadn't been doing it for a while, because you don't want to hurt yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I mean, look, I'm like, dude, I'm benching like 135. That's really not a lot.
No, I'm just
yeah. Aircraft Sparkies, you know what I'm saying? He a girly man and shit, you know what I'm saying? He a girly man, with the 135 and shit.
So I turned 45 this year, man. I ain't trying to get swole.
45? Holy shit, I didn't know you were that old.
Yeah, man, I'm old as fuck.
45, yeah.
And
oh man, at least you ain't as old as Billy though. You know what I mean? That's helpful.
Fuck you, Tom.
But yeah,
I'm just the most lovingly fuck you way, Tom.
Doing 135 ain't shit. I mean, I did one. I was doing a couple sets around $180, and I was like, well, sure, whatever. We'll try this shit out. And then I started realizing my left shoulder was giving me some fits, and so I'm like, okay, well, I ain't gonna try to hurt myself. You gotta realize what your limits are, and really, the human body isn't meant to lift extreme heavy weights, really at all.
No, it is. But the problem is if you don't do it consistently for a long time, your body won't be able to tolerate it, right?
Well, I teach now. It's not like I I'm not working.
I had this conversation.
Yeah. I mean, it's like when I was working at the steel mill, you know what I mean? Like lifting heavy weights all day was not a big deal, right? Because that's what I've done my whole life. You know what I mean? Just fucking working, going to the dock, working. The same type of shit. Like lifting heavy weights all day, every day was a normal goddamn thing. You know what I mean? Right. Like that's kind of where the shit really gets down to. So once you get down to the point where you've been sitting for a long time, all that heavy weightlifting, it's really hard for you to get back to that shit. right? That's why, like, you know what I mean? Like, my exercise is like, I got some free weights and I got a heavy bag and I go run and I go fucking walk and I get the fuck out of the house and do shit. You know what I mean? That's, you know what I mean?
Look at a lot of people that used to be real large weightlifters, and after they stop, what happens? They fucking blow up like a balloon.
Well, it's because they don't change their diet, man. So
well, that's part of it. It's also, it's also like, muscles atrophy. You know what I mean? And like, it kind of like disintegrates, and then they end up with just it being fat on top of that fucking muscle and shit. That happens so much. Part of it's a diet, but part of it's just also atrophy. You know what I mean? That shit will happen.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I'm not in the best shape I ever been, fucking, but I mean, I'm in pretty decent good shape. And the whole big thing is like, don't stop. As soon as you stop and you let yourself get weak, it's so much, like Tom said, it's so difficult to get yourself back up to a regiment.
Well, and that's really, so you gotta do something for like 90 days for it to really become a habit.
You know what I do, bro? I just make my life really hard. So like, to survive is just hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta carry like fucking trees and shit to heat my house. You know what I mean? And so, like, you just become strong. You know what I mean? Like, I live on top of a hill, so I walk up and down fucking hill. You know what I mean? All the time.
It has nothing to do with the sex of a person, but being a self-sustaining individual is a thing that's like becoming the past. My wife is strong as fuck, bro. She lives out here in the woods too. You know what I'm saying? My kids are strong as fuck. It's just like, it's your environment. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, my kids too. You know what I mean? Like, fucking, it's when you raise them out here to motherfucking actually do shit and move stuff around.
In the mountain folk, you know what I'm saying? They become mountain people.
Yeah, that's how that shit works. You know what I'm saying? The problem with Willie is Willie, you know what I'm saying? He live up in Buffalo, right? And you know what I mean, that's like white trash heaven and shit. Like, they sit around and eat wings and like throw themselves through tables all day. That's like all the fuck they do and shit.
He's not wrong.
Yo, my wife just took the kids out, you know what I'm saying, to Florida for the winter, you know what I'm saying? Because fuck the
what?
I want her to go to the winter so I can make bread out here and fix this house. You know what I mean? I don't want to fix the house with people living in it, bro, and they don't have to sit here through the winter, pregnant shit. Winter sucks.
In the fucking shed.
I have to put a fucking complete floor in because my kids tore up the vinyl. I want to put it in a hard vinyl. You know what I mean? Like the indestructible kind that you can't destroy.
What are your kids?
You know what I'm saying? Yo, they're animals, bro. I got to redo the walls. I got to, you know what I'm saying? I got a lot of finishing to do, and it's hard to finish stuff with people living in the house. You know what I mean? So we got a lot of stuff.
I feel where you are. I feel where you are.
She took the mountain, you know what I mean, children out to Florida, you know what I'm saying? And she's gonna stay with the moms for a little bit, you know what I mean?
Your kids are gonna come back, you know what I'm saying, with like alligator scars on them from trying to wrestle alligators and shit. It's not gonna be positive.
Possibly, but yo, they needed to go and get some. They needed to get some family experience because somebody, you know what I mean, she's got a lot of family in Florida. So
one thing I can say about people from
they're gonna be on vacation during the cold of this winter. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
Yo, we're in the mountains. Gets crazy, bro. You don't understand. It gets cold.
Yo, I completely understand. I live in the mountains. I completely fucking get it, my brother.
And I needed to make some bread. I need to do work from home. I can't be having, you know what I'm saying, a massive chaos in the background while I'm doing what I'm doing on the phones and whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, whatever you do on your OnlyFans accounts is your business. You know, I'm not going to knock you for it.
No,
yeah, I mean, I am, but
like I gotta be out here, you know, make bread and you know what I'm saying, fix a lot of shit while these little demons aren't destroying it, because I can't build nothing while they take it apart, bro. It's like impossible. Yo, put walls up and shit and they just tear them down, you know what I mean? Like, it ain't happening.
Yeah, I feel you. I usually try to get shit done, you know what I'm saying, when the family's gone. You know what I mean? It's so much easier to do when the kids ain't here.
But yo, you know, when we moved out here, bro, we were, you know, it was a, you know, we did like a land contract and all kinds of crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? And so fucking, you know what I mean? It was not traditional, you know, moving and living conditions. You know what I'm saying? It was untraditional, unorthodox You know what I mean? Like real homestead settlers. Yeah, we were like settlers, bro. Like 1900s. All right, bro. Maybe even earlier, bro. 1492 settlers, bro, just kicking down trees and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I mean? Like fucking I gotta put some work in outside this weekend, either coming up or maybe tomorrow. I've been waiting for the leaves to get done falling off this fucking back tree so I can get up on the roof and clean that motherfucker off and clean out the gutters and do all that type of shit. Get ready for winter to come, you know what I'm saying? Like fucking just all the things that I have to do to take care of to make sure that motherfucking
away from your house.
Yeah, I do that shit already, bro. Like the fuck is wrong with you?
Do you burn wood?
No, I don't. I gotta get me a fucking wood stove. I'm working on it. I'm working on
a wood stove this year, bro. I'm not kidding.
I just actually picked one up, an old crank one with a fucking foot pedal on it, Tom. That this is a big fucking wheel, a wick stone for like sharpening axes.
No, we're talking about a wood stove.
This thing.
A stove, man. A wood stove.
Yeah. I'll be real, man. I've been motherfucking thinking about it, but I'll be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you can't get
at this point, yeah, like you can't even fucking get a hold of them no more because everybody knows what's coming. Yo, heating oil went up to like fucking $7 a fucking gallon. Like I went out and bought like 10 space heaters. I'm gonna run electricity all year.
For real, if you go out and you get a motherfucking 55-gallon drum, right, and then you get you a smaller drum. All right, and you put some bricks in between the smaller drum and the bigger drum. You can run a fucking stovepipe out of it. It's called a hobo heater. They get hot as fuck, and it'll heat your house in an emergency. It's cheap. You could build one for under $100.
Mike, you got a question? You got a question in the motherfucking chat, man? I put it up on the screen for you.
I used to have a panel. I deleted it because you know what I mean. People don't want me to teach them, so I'm not going to teach them.
Sorry, I forgot to mute.
You know what I'm saying?
In my garage.
It's not my job to teach people, bro.
And dude, those things fucking crank heat.
Yeah, I got. Yo, man, listen, I gotta take care of some work for that shit. I'll be real. Like fucking shit's getting serious out here in the Northeast right now. We're running out of diesel fuel. Like I got some videos to make on that shit. Like I'm just getting reports that there's literally places that don't have any fuel. Like shit is fucked up right now.
Dude, if it's like life and death, you can just use the 55-gallon drum, but it's dangerous because it glows red hot and it'll burn your house down if you don't keep an eye on it.
You don't keep it.
Yeah, I know how it works.
Against the fucking wall covered in paper.
Huh?
You like when you got a fucking 55-gallon drum wood heater, like I do in my garage. Let me just say, it's not like a garage in like the back house. It's a fucking building. Like we got two 55-gallon drums stacked on each other long ways with heat transfer pipes going in between. And we had a problem.
Well, no, I literally in my living room, I have a hole for a chimney or for a pipe and a space surrounded by brick for motherfucking, for a fucking wood stove. I just, I got to get that shit hooked up and whatnot, to get it proper. I just got to figure out how to fucking do it, and get that shit on and popping. Cause I'll be real, it's going to be cold this winter and there ain't no way I'm going to be able to afford an extra $1,800 for motherfucking heating oil. It's just not going to happen.
Here, the gas prices went up a third. 1/3.
Yeah. Shit's getting fucking rough. Shit's getting real. You know what I mean? Like, and it's all virtue signaling State Department bullshit trying to uphold Europe. You know what I mean? Like, they want this one world government bullshit. You know what I mean? They want everybody to be linked together because,
Listen, man. Get yourself a chainsaw, right? Get yourself some fucking chainsaw bars, some chains. Get yourself some gas. Get yourself a wood splitting maul, 8-pounder, and you know what I mean. Get you a wood stove, and you'll be able to say "fuck you, government" through the whole winter. Maybe get you and you can get you some dinner too, bro.
Yeah, man. I already got all these things. You know what I'm saying? I'm already on that level right now.
That's where we're at.
I agree. Yeah,
I agree. All right, but look, it's been like 2 hours, man. We're gonna end this motherfucking shut it down. It seems to be winding down and shit. But look, I'm Tom Pease of Pino and Deuce. Y'all know the deal, man. Like, share, and subscribe on this motherfucker. Make sure you go check out Aircraft Sparky. Put your motherfucking link in the goddamn chat. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Willie, for coming out. Thank you, Navison. Thank you, Trinity Tales Ninja. Thank you, motherfucking Captain Capitalism and Mike. As always, it's nice to have you back in the fam, my brother.
I appreciate you.
You know what I mean? We love you, man. All right, I'm gonna holler at y'all motherfuckers later. You know what I mean? Peace be like Walmart. my brothers, I'm the fuck up out of here.